Okay, so now I'm going to do the radial cuts at the body entry. So now I have to do some fast shaping here. Oh, be back in a minute. Got to get my metric caliper. All right, here is my metric caliper. Mm, 29, that's good enough for there. Okay, so now we'll actually go maybe to 30 right here where the side blocks will come in. So I'm going to do a 30 here, a 30 cut. Be back in a minute. Need to get my template. Here's my template. I'll put this one up here. It's for the body cut, body entry right there. Okay, we're at 46. I want to come down to about 38. Okay, we'll bring this is going to do the nut radius now, and we'll bring this down to about 24, 22. Okay, we're at 23 and a half, so that's about it. We don't want to get much. Okay, I'm radiusing here, and what I'm going to do is take my template, my radius template, and I look for touch points. And where I have a touch point, I take off a little. And I'm looking for more touch points. And trick is to remove all the touch points until the top of the radius is at the wood. Okay, that one's done. Okay, so I pre-measured already, so now it's just a question of getting the radius in, using the same technique I used at the nut. I have a little bit, I think this is a 2.5 inch radius, I forget. But at the same point, look for touch points and bring them down at the touch points. Okay, now I'll do the body entry radius, which is going to be 4 inches, 4-inch radius. And if anybody's interested, this is figured maple, walnut, and figured maple. Walnut, figured maple, walnut, and the side blocks are basswood. And this is a Christian guitar, more Christian. Not the religious Christian. Although it's a, it's a loving guitar, so I guess you could call it a Christian guitar at that level. All right, so that's done. So now we got to do the hard part, which is the rasping, which is exhausting, which I might have to stop, take off my sweatshirt because I sweat up like a pig. But everything is ready to go now for the rasping. So stand by. All right, I'm going to do the rasping now. It's exhausting. Requires that I just keep cutting straight lines along the known and imagined radiuses. I just keep doing it. I'm going to put my dust mask on because there's a lot of sawdust that gets kicked off. And I want to keep my lungs in good shape. So here we go. And this is where the real art is. The radiusing is somewhat easier. I mean, you got to know a thing or two, but this is the bitch, so to speak. Yeah, I forgot to mention that one of the things I do is I go to great lengths to protect the fingerboard. So I'm always masking because these rasps, I mean, they're pretty raw. You really got to give it a good shot. And sometimes, even with the greatest finesse, the rasp will go awry and hit into the fingerboard. So I mask them off. The other thing I do is as I'm going, I got to start measure for high spots. So as I'm going, I'm looking at high spots, just in case. Eventually, towards the get to the end, I'll be more fastidious about this. But I do have some high spots developing already, so I want to note that. And as I continue. Okay, now I'm going to work more on the body end because things are getting curvy. Okay, now to do the headstock where the neck comes in, I'm going to use the Dragon files, which require a lot of finesse on my part, because again, these are pretty brutal, unless you control them. Again, with the on the radial, this neck is just a touch high. But sadly, you can't see the wood. The walnut is really nice. Has a nice set of tiger grains through it. I really like. I just like selecting the wood. As I do some more and more, I find I spend a lot more time with the wood because it is the wood. No matter what, electric or acoustic, it is the wood. Yeah, Dan Armstrong made a plastic guitar back for Keith Richards, but still the wood. Okay, I got to take another set of rasp on it just to get it down a little more. A little too thick. let's throw a little measurement on it and see how we're doing. All right, 24 at the nut. 28 at the 12th fret. 25 in the middle. Just got to bring this guy to touch. Okay, so now we'll do some filing, and then we'll go to some sanding. Filing and sanding, have mask still on. And what we're going to do, because sanding gets everything, because what I've noticed is that the real test of a good neck, for my estimation, is that the rounding starts really at the plane of the fretboard up here, and then the round goes around. So what I'm going to do is I'm pulling the tape off. Sanding, I don't worry about hitting the fretboard when I sand, because I'm going up against 100 grit, which isn't a super rough. It's not super fine, but it's not a super rough. Okay, so I just pull this down, get it away here. Like so, and I got some filing action going here. I got to put the gas mask back on because there's a lot of stuff. And walnut will get in here. Just for giggles, to see how well rounded I am, let me get a pencil, a white pencil, and I'm going to put some marks here. And on a good rounding, the sandpaper will take off these marks. So let's see. Yeah, I still got some work here, don't we? Yeah, it's not as round as we'd like it to be. I'm going to go get some 80 grit. Okay, I got some 80 grit here. Much better. Yeah, that's the only time I'm taking off the tape. Yeah, much better. Oops. A piece of tape. Even. In the holes, but got a neck here. Let me take one last set of measurements. Alright. So we got 22 here, which is about 7/8 at the nut, which isn't bad. Got 20, the 12th fret. We got 27. So that's it's a steep neck. There's no question about that. But we'll see what the player says. And we have some play. We don't have a lot of play up here because that truss rod's coming in there. But we can get some more on here if the player wants it. So there you go, a neck. I'll put some photos on too.